Hi and welcome. This video will demonstrate all of the new features in the R2 release for DTools System Integrator 2015. This release does require both a server and a client upgrade on your machine, so you'll have to update your SI 2015 server first, then you'll be able to update all of your clients. And once you've gone ahead and done that and launched the software, the first glaring difference is the layout here. We've changed the look of this. Now this home page image here and the links, that will change over time. This is a dynamic page, but you can see that that has changed. We've also taken away the navigation on the left-hand side and put everything up on a ribbon here to more closely match the rest of the interfaces in SI 2015. The R2 release of SI 2015 is compatible with AutoCAD 2016. So if you do install AutoCAD 2016 on a machine that already has SI 2015 installed on it, remember that you will need to run your drawing add-ins manager from your control panel. So we'll click here, and this is going to open up the control panel, and then scroll down to your drawing add-ins manager. And in this day and age, you're probably going to be running the 64-bit one, but you can run both to be safe. You just double-click them. You can see here, install DTools SI Drawing Add-ins. Click that. It'll let you know if it's been done successfully, and that's all you have to do to make the connection between AutoCAD 2016 and the R2 release of SI 2015. In this release, we also made improvements for getting started help for new users. So depending on what you click on, you may get prompted to view a tutorial page with more information. For example, if we click to create a new project, you'll see a little box pop open here and asks if you want to see a tutorial on creating a new project. If you say yes, it will open a web page that will take you out to our support site where there'll be videos and additional information on creating a project or whatever subject you've clicked. If you don't want to see this each time you're creating a project, you can click this Do Not Show Me Again option here. Go ahead and cancel out of that for now. Now we'll move over to the catalog and show some of the improvements that were made here. I'm going to go ahead and click the products button here. And here's another one of those prompts for a tutorial, as you can see. Do you want to learn more about the Product Explorer? I'll just say no for now on that. This will open up the Product Explorer. And one of the changes we made was to the editing of inputs and outputs on devices. So if you open up a device here, and go to the IOs tab, there used to be a button in here to open the IO Studio, and then there was just a display of the IOs here. Here you can manage these directly in this interface without going out to the IO Studio. All of the buttons available in the IO Studio are here for you. You can scroll down and click in this last link, start adding terminal signals and labels to add inputs and outputs. Of course, you can also move them up and down in the list or do any other actions that you want. You can mass update the terminal and the signal. All those functions are just now readily available to you right here on this tab. And another improvement we made was actually to the package interface. So let's move over to here, Catalog Manage Packages. And here, whether you're creating a new package or editing an existing one, like this one here, we removed the add buttons here along this ribbon, and they have now just been shifted over here to the actual items tab as a sub ribbon, if you will, down here. So this is where you'll be able to add products and labor. It just made more sense to have those here in this interface, since this is where they're going to display anyways. Now let's take a look at the changes made to the Project Explorer interface. So the first thing you may notice is that there is now a client tree over here on the left-hand side. Clicking on a client will filter to the projects associated with that client. You can choose here if you want to include any inactive clients from your database, and you can also search for clients within this list as well. You can even create a new project from here by right-clicking and choosing New Project that will automatically default to that client, as you can see here. We'll cancel out of this. We also added the ability to clone a project from an archived project. It's just a time saver. So to demonstrate, I'll just archive a project here. We'll go view our archived projects, and here you can see the one that was just archived. We added a clone button here. So before, you would have to unarchive a project, change your view, go clone the project, and then re-archive that project. So it's, again, just a time saver for those that need to clone an archived project. Let's go ahead and actually unarchive this and get it back in our list, and we'll change our view back to all projects. We added a new feature to revisions. So let's select a project here that has revisions and come over here. And if you choose to promote this as a project, let me check it out first so I can actually work on this. Here you see there's a promote as project button. When you click this, there's a new option here to restore revision project files. So what happens when you create a revision is that not only is a copy made of the DTP file, or your main, what people call the project file, also all of the other files that are associated with the project get zipped up and are associated with that revision. Like if there's a specific cover page image that may have been added for reporting, or a scope of work RTF file that was added. Also drawings, your Visio and AutoCAD files. So the default is to restore those with that revision. When you are promoting a revision as a project, remember you're replacing the current editable project with one of these revisions. So chances are you're going to want those project files to go with it. But in the event that you don't, you can uncheck this option. So that's new. And probably the biggest improvement out here is hard to demonstrate, so I'll describe it. But it involves the check-in, check-out procedure. So when I check in this project file, it checks into the SI 2015 server. And when you want to work on a project file, you select it and check it out to you, which copies the project file down to your machine. So the improvements we made here will certainly help out our users that connect via VPN to their network, or that are using our Amazon cloud-hosted solution for their server. When large files are being transferred, to get rid of timeout errors and things like that when there's hiccups in the network. The improvements we made are a couple. So the first one is any file that is over 1 megabyte will now be zipped up before checking out, and then unzipped automatically once it's down. But that will certainly help compress those files down to a more manageable size and speed up the process of checking them in and out. Again, that's for files over 1 megabyte. The other thing that we've made changes to is when you check out a project now, so for instance this one, in the past all files would be checked out, and like all drawings down here, all revisions, like you can see even here there's a cover page image that's been added for this particular project. These will now only download from the server when needed, so when you go to use them. The only thing that transfers initially on a checkout now is the DTP file, or the just the project file. Again, any additional files when needed will be downloaded, so that will also improve the speed, whether you're working via VPN or again an Amazon cloud hosted solution. Very, very cool improvements there. Now let's take a look at the improvements made within the project editor. We'll open up a project here, and the first one I'll point out is this validation column here, this little yellow symbol. And if I scroll down in my list, we'll see if we can find an error, and of course we will. Somewhere in here, there's one right there. So if you mouse over this, it'll tell you what the validation errors are. In this case, 0 labor hours. And you can pick and choose which of the available fields this will report on when you add a item to a project. So here on the settings tab, you'll see that there's item validation settings. If you click this, here we're basically saying mark an item as invalid if it has a 0 cost, a 0 price, a 0 or negative margin or markup, unassigned phase, or 0 labor hours. Now, if you're not using phase labor and don't care about labor hours on items, you can of course turn those off and just worry about the pricing here. But by default, they're all settings here, so you get to make your own choices on what validates and what doesn't. We'll cancel out of those, and let's add a product here that will go ahead and just show the little flag there in the column as well. We'll add this item here. I'll just drag it in, and once this goes away, you can see if you mouse over this, this is showing that it has a 0 price, which of course would be a 0 or negative markup or margin. Open up the product here, go to the price tab, and of course that's what's missing here. Set a price and you'll be good to go. Go ahead and just cancel out of that. So very, very cool new feature. The next new feature has to do with searching here in the project editor, and you can control this via the layouts tab here. Here, this option for include accessories and alternates, that's for when you're searching for a parent item. So in this case, you can see there's a lot of cameras here, and they have wires as accessories. But if I was searching for just IC, like real time, and just wanted to see the IC real-time cameras, because say for a price update, rather than wanting to hold control down and click in between all of these, you have this option now here right on the layout just to uncheck that. Now you'll just see these cameras. You can select them and then do a mass update if you want, or again make whatever changes you need without including the accessories or the alternate products. Go ahead and turn that back on here. The rest of the new features have to do with adding products, or adding items I should say, to a project. So let's check those out. The first one we'll look at will be in the add packages dialog. When you click this button here, it'll bring up your list of packages, and let's go to this one here and go to the items tab. This has to do with being able to change the quantity of accessories. You used to not be able to do that. You could only change the quantity of the parent item. So in this case, let's say I wanted to put in 2 of these racks. What happened here is you see these an editable quantity column here, and it now applies to accessories, and the total quantity column that's been added here will always add up the total quantity, meaning if there's 2 racks going in here, the total quantity will always be 2. Now on accessories, it's how many per parent item, as you see here. So for instance, if I were to change this to 2, it's going to add 4 total because there are 2 of the parent item. So that's what the total quantity column is going to display. But it's very cool now that you do get to select the quantity on your accessories when adding a package via this method here. Go ahead and cancel out of that. And the next cool new feature that I will show you is this add from library button here in the catalog section of the ribbon. So when you click here, this will open up the DTools browser, or the add from library browser, but it's gonna let you search for products out here, and then you can pick something to add to a project. For example, let's do a quick search here and go to search results. I'm just going to randomly pick an item here that's in this list. If you go ahead and drag that over here, that will not only be downloaded to your catalog inside of SI 2015. When you go back to the project here, let's go ahead and actually close out of this here. You'll see that that was added to the project. Let's go ahead and change my layout here to group this by location. The reason I'm going to do that is because the item that just came in is going to be unassigned. Pretty easy to find, and of course there's going to be validation errors now. It just came down from the DTools catalog, so it's definitely missing pricing. You would open this thing up, of course, and set its pricing here. Verify hours, do any other changes you want to make to this within this project, even assign it a location and system, and then save and close. But very cool new feature that you can just add from there. Also, if you are searching for products when adding, say, from the Product Explorer here, let me pin this here, and if your search doesn't find what you are looking for, an offer will come up and say, sorry, there's no products in your catalog. Would you want to search in the, or would you like to search in the library? If you choose yes, this will open the add to product, or add from library dialog, I should say. and it did a search here for coastal source, what I searched for, and then of course if you want to filter further, you certainly can, but there's a list of all of the products available for that search. And I'll just pick a random one here and drag it over here. Again, that was downloaded to your catalog. It was also added here to the project with its validation errors, of course, because it came down. You need to put your cost and your price on that. And those are the new features here within the project editor. Go ahead and close out of this. We'll not save those changes, but we will check in the project. The next new feature I'll show you is in the Visio interface. So let me pull up a file here. And it has to do with the Insert Drawing Pages function, which is available here under the Add-ins and D-Tools menu. Or you can right-click on any page, go to D-Tools, and choose Insert Drawing Pages. And the new feature that was added is this link to background page in current drawing if background page is not imported. So let me show you what that means. First of all, let's pull up another Visio file real quickly, like this one. And notice that this background frame here is different than the project that I want to insert this page into. So we'll assume I want to take this schematic and insert these products and, of course, this drawing page over into this file. But I want to maintain this background. So that's the whole point of this. So let's right-click, go to D-Tools, Insert Drawing Pages, and we'll browse to the project folder and to the Visio file where we want to pull in the pages. And in this case, it was that schematic drawing. So the pages are going to load here in this section, and we'll go ahead and do a deselect all and choose just the schematic drawing here. So this new option here is just nice because now when I pull in this schematic drawing over into this project file, it will maintain the existing background for this project. That is, of course, because this one is unchecked. If you do have this one checked, it kind of nullifies this option down here. So if you go ahead and just do this, click OK, and this is going to go ahead and load that project file and actually insert these pages. And here you see the page was inserted with the existing background title frame. The next set of features that we'll demonstrate have to do with reports. So what I'll quickly do is pull up a project here. And the first one that I'll show, it has to do with quantities on alternate items. Prior to this R2 release, we did not put a quantity field next to alternate items. We now do by default, but you could turn that off if you don't like that new setting. But let's demonstrate that here. We'll add an alternate to this item here. Just pick something else to add to it, save it. You can see here's the alternate showing, and then I'll just simply go to reports here, run this report, and we'll scroll down, and here you can see that there is now a quantity field showing for this alternate item. And if for some reason you don't like that new setting and want to turn that off, here under report settings, you scroll down a little bit under the optionals and alternates, you could turn this setting to false. So cancel out of that. Let's go ahead and discard this alternate here, and we'll move on to the next example, which is the ability to add the URL field to your reports inside of the report designer. So first things first, let's go to the report designer, and this being the standard report designer. I'm going to open an existing example here. This is the one that I created for this, and if you scroll down, you'll see here there is a field that was added for URL, and where that displays, of course, will be over here in your Data Explorer. If you expand your list, just show this here under your items, the very end of the list of fields, you'll see DTR URL, and that's what this field here is. You can see that over here as a data field. So that can now be added to your reports. We used to do this. In fact, we would store the URL inside of the project file information, which made project files pretty heavy. So We no longer do that. So besides adding this field, there is a report setting you'll need to change in order to pull that field. So I'll demonstrate that now. Let's go ahead and publish this report back to a project here. And we'll go ahead and run that report. It's down here. Real quickly, without the report setting. So you'll see what displays. So here, again, this being that report, no URL is showing. Now, of course, that could mean these parts don't have a URL, but I know for a fact that these two pieces do. So the reason that is not showing is you have to turn on the report setting for that. So here, under report settings, it's here under the legacy section because, again, this is something that we used to do but changed in one of our releases. So this populate item URL, you'll want to set that to true. And this is going to make a call out to the server when this report is run to pull those URL fields from the catalog. We'll go ahead and run that same report again. And this time you will see that it will print the URL path there. Now, of course, if you export this out to PDF, these will be clickable links. So that was the request, and now it is available for you. The next two features that I'm going to demonstrate are a little more advanced. They require some scripting in the report designer, but on request we added two new report utilities that will return the filter value to a report and a report utility that will return the parameters for a report back to the actual report itself. So those might be used for internal reports versus external reports, although of course you could find a use case for putting that information, possibly like the filtering on a report that you would show a client. So I've pre-built some reports. Let's just go to the report designer. Go start report, standard report designer, and I'll show you what was done. And again, this is a little more complex with the scripting, but there'll be a link in the description below out on YouTube once we get a page up to show you exactly how to use each of these new features. Again, one being to pull filters, one being to pull the parameters. So let's open up one of these existing ones. So here's a checklist with filter info is this report that I named. And the modifications that were made was a text box was added here, and you give it a name. This one's just text filter info. And of course, I put this in the page header 1 section in this example. So script that was added, if you look in here, you'll definitely want to go to the page header 1 section down here in the format. And this is the script that you'll want to put in there. Now, again, we'll have another page, like I said, with a link that will explain this in detail. But there's a report utility called get applied filter information. And this script then just tells it to populate that text box that we've named text filter info in this section with that value. So I'll demonstrate that in a second when we get back into the project example. But first, let's publish this. And I've got one more to show you, actually. I shouldn't have closed that. So let's go back here. And in this report design, let's open up another existing one. And this one here is a proposal with images called internal review. So I put this under the management reports, just as an example, where at the end of the report, once again, a text box was added. I removed the normal signature lines from this proposal, again, assuming this is going to be an internal review report. And this one is just slightly different. It's just, I named the text box param info, and in the script, it's just a slightly different code to change that. So if we scroll down here, this is returning parameter values. So in this case, the report utility is get applied parameter information. And of course, then you're just telling it to populate a text box in a particular section of the report. So let's go ahead and run those. We'll publish this. We'll leave the report designer back here in this project file. So first things first, we'll do the checklist with filter info. And what we'll need to do is choose how we want to run this, and then actually run it with a filter so there's something to show. And in this case, I'll do it by location, just as an example. We'll pick a location from the project. We'll run the report, and you'll see along the top when this generates that it's telling you what your filter information is. In this case, location equal to bar. So that's that new feature. Use it. on whatever custom reports you want to create. The other one has to do with the parameter values. So the example we put here was this, again, proposal with images, internal review. And the parameters we're talking about have to do with which definition you run the report by. So if you right click and edit this report definition, it has its own set of parameters here. So that's what this report utility is going to return the values for, and in my case print that at the end of the report, this list of parameters. So let's go ahead and run that, and we'll scroll to the last page once this generates. We'll just click here and actually go directly there, and as you can see, it returned that information here. So again, very cool new report utilities. Use them on your custom reports as you see fit. And the last two features are actually two brand new reports that we've released for wire connections. We've always had this wire connections report here that you could group either by wire number, or in this case by manufacturer by wire number. But these two new ones here will also group by the from item or by the to item, your choice. So the idea was, let's go ahead and run this real quick. When you're standing behind a piece of equipment, like the from item in the head end room or the home run room or whatever you call it, like in this case, you could be behind this device here, and these are all of the connections that need to be made on that particular device. Then it moves on to the next device that's in the project, all based off of your schematic drawings. So very cool feature request. One of our clients did request that. We built it, and here it is for everyone to use. So enjoy that one, or of course you could, or if you prefer, the from the to item is how this one will group. And that is it for the feature enhancements regarding reports. We'll go back here to the main interface of the software, and now we will talk about the improvements made to tasks, service orders, and mobile install. The first new feature I'll show here has to do with an application setting. So in your control panel, application settings, under mobile install here, you have the ability to be prompted now to publish tasks to mobile install or publish service orders to mobile install, or you can set this to automatically do it if you'd like that. So you won't see the prompt anymore. As soon as you save a task or service order, it will automatically get published. Up to you if you want that. I'm going to leave mine set to prompt. And let's go now over here to the scheduling interface. We'll start with tasks. We'll talk about both tasks and service orders. And here are some of the changes. You have the ability to unpublish a task or service order right from the interface now. You can see here's an unpublish button. So if we do that, hit unpublish, hit yes. You can see now to remove the icon here. So it will no longer appear out in mobile install. Now let's go ahead and republish this, and I'll show you another feature here. We'll publish this one first and just go ahead and hit publish. And you'll see that one went up there, and then we'll also go ahead and do this one. And the new feature here is that when adding or attaching additional files down here, it will default to the project folder. It used to default to the last place you browse, but in this case, if you wanted to say attach a wire connections report, we'll go ahead and do that and hit publish. And this will now, of course, create that report, PDF it, and publish that out to mobile install. Now I'll pull up the mobile install interface here, and we'll take a look at some of the features that have been added out here. So I'll click on this link, and we'll say open this one up. One of the major new features is that the site notes and the site images will now synchronize back and transfer down to SI 2015. They didn't before. So again, if you add any site notes out here, test note, go ahead and hit add, and then site images here, where you can either drop files or hit the add button, those will now again synchronize back. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that real quick. But there's also another feature out here. You're able to add a caption. So when you click here to browse to go find an image, I'll pull something up here. Rather than just put the image in here, you can write a caption for that. We'll say, it's cat not friendly, and hit add, and that will pull in the image and put your note here. Of course, you can then edit that further if you want. But again, these are going to synchronize back now. So if we kind of bounce between the interfaces here, go ahead and select this task here, and we'll say, update from mobile install. One task was updated. If you double click this to open it, in this interface, you will see that there are site notes and site image buttons now. So if you click this, it's going to load the image from mobile install, as you can see there, with the note as well as the site notes that were added out there in the field. So very, very cool feature, both of those. Not only adding the caption, but being able to synchronize site notes and site images back to SI 2015. Let's go back to mobile install. And one of the other new features out here is this for tasks. It's a pick list. You take a look here, and this just shows everything that is in this job. This one happens to be just a pre-wire job, so there's some counts on wires. Let's see if we have a better example here. We'll go to this one and go to the pick list here. And not much better. It's got two each of these things in this particular task. So simple task, but it is a pick list that you are able to select individual items or all items here, and then decide if it's picked or unpicked. You click the button here. So you can say picked. It will put a little checkbox here. So kind of a digital way to maybe load up a truck or something before heading out for a task. And now I'll show you some setting changes that were made out here. I'll go to Setup and then to Preferences. And here you'll see the option to automatically update % complete for tasks based on the items marked as installed. So we'll go ahead and click that and hit Save. And go back to the dashboard here. And let's go back into a task to explain what just changed with that setting. So prior to that, having that setting, when you would come here to mark a task as in progress, this would automatically default to 50% just every time. It was 0% for not started, 50% here, and 100% for completed. That's just what it did. So that setting that we just changed now will calculate this percentage based off of which items you've marked as installed. So let's go ahead and mark an item real quickly here. And you can see this just has, 6 items in it. Let's pick one, mark it as installed. And then if you go back here to the General tab, you'll see that the in progress status has automatically changed for you, and the percentage is 17% complete based on those 6 items that are in there. So pretty cool setting if you prefer to have your statuses and % complete be based off of the items that are actually installed. And another new setting out here is for publishing your tasks and service orders to Google Calendar. You can now choose which calendar they go to. So here, let's go back to tasks, and this button right here where you can add to calendar, right here and here. If you go here to your My Profile settings, and down here you'll see select a Google Calendar to export your tasks and service orders to. Here's where you can select that. And if you're not logged in to Google, you'll be prompted to. And when you are, it's going to pull up all of the calendars or Google calendars that you have created, and you can decide if you want this to go to, say, technicians only, or again, whatever else you have in your list. Go ahead and hit select and save, and then you'll be able to export to a specific calendar. So very, very cool. And the last feature we'll show here for scheduling will be regarding service orders, namely tracking time on a service order. So let's open one. This up here, this track work. So when you start that, it starts this timer over here. And the new features I'll show you in just a second, but first let me go ahead and add a site item here where we're going to add labor, say, to this, an hour of labor, camera installation, 1 hour, you can hit save. So now we have an existing site item, but again, this cool new feature, when you are tracking work, when you stop the timer, you'll have the option here, number one here, to change the status to in progress. That's cool. But the new feature here really is this, add these hours, these tracked hours, to a newer existing site item. And if you click this option, you'll see here a new site item. It'll create that. It'll put the hours here. Then you could give the description here that you're doing programming or whatever. And if you have permission to change the price, you'll see that's an editable field here. Or you could change to or charges to an existing site item and apply that towards this. In this case, that 1 hour you saw me just add. So it'll be up to you if you want to apply these hours to site items at all. But very, very cool new feature to create a new one on the fly, just like that. I'll just cancel out of that. And that completes the demonstration of the new scheduling features in R2. Let's move back to the main interface here. We'll go to the home page. Just two more quick features to show you for the QuickBooks integration. Thanks for hanging in there. Very, very quickly, let's show these. We'll go to Catalog, Manage Products, go to the QuickBooks tab, and click the QuickBooks Settings button. So the first change is that we put a ribbon along here now and just separated out these settings, made them a little clearer, that this is your item format, and then you move over to your estimate options. So try to get a little more organized out there, and we'll be doing more things like this in future releases. But the other cool feature, besides just the layout change here, is on the items here themselves tab. So before, you didn't really have an option when pushing an item or creating an item from SI 2015 over to QuickBooks regarding what transferred, meaning we would always transfer the short description to match up to the purchase description in QuickBooks. The long description from SI 2015 would go to the sales description and automatically transfer part number and vendor. Now we give you the options. If you don't want to transfer either of these two things, you can uncheck those. If you don't want, for some reason, the part number to go over, you can uncheck that. But this is pretty key here. We did have the request come in that they user did not want the long description at all to go over from SI 2015 to their QuickBooks database. So you could send both these over here as a short description if you would like. So very cool flexibility on that. And that completes this video showing off all of the new features here in the R2 release for DTools System Integrator 2015.